If you're looking at the iPega PG-9156 Bluetooth Gamepad thinking it's the perfect budget controller for mobile and PC gaming, you're in the right place because I'm about to save you from a huge headache. But here's what surprised me after weeks of testing. This controller does a few things incredibly well, which makes its many failures even more frustrating. Therefore, don't buy this controller until you've seen this honest breakdown of every single problem you will face. For the best price, click the link in the description. Let's start with the good, because the opening act is surprisingly strong. Unboxing the PG-9156 feels like you've won. It has a solid, almost premium heft. The telescopic design that stretches to hold your phone is genuinely clever and works with most devices. Connecting via Bluetooth is usually a snap. And for the price, the feature list is a mile long. Phone holder, dual vibration, turbo functions, and it works on Android, iOS, and PC. It's like the controller is handing you a resume that says valedictorian, but then shows up to the job interview wearing pajamas. Therefore, the initial impression is a solid A, but then you pick it up. The first major problem is the analog sticks. They are loose, with a huge dead zone in the center. This isn't just a minor nitpick. In any shooter or precision driving game, it's a disaster. Your character will either not move or lurch forward because the stick doesn't register small movements. It feels like trying to perform delicate surgery with oven mitts on. This alone kills its viability for serious gaming, and that's just problem one. Problem two is the face buttons. They are mushy. There's no satisfying click or tactile feedback. Playing a fast-paced action game where timing is everything becomes an exercise in faith. You have to believe the button press registered because your finger sure didn't feel it. They're so soft, I half expected them to apologize every time I pressed them. Therefore, the core controls are a letdown. But wait, the D-pad wants a word. It's a single, plus-shaped piece of plastic that rocks on a central pivot. For fighting games or retro platformers where directional input is king, this thing is a traitor. It's far too easy to press down left when you just want left, leading to accidental crouches or wrong moves. It's less a precision instrument and more a game of directional roulette. Rehook so the controls are mediocre, but surely the phone holder and ergonomics save it, right? Not so fast. Problem number 3 is the weight distribution. With your phone clamped in, the entire unit becomes top-heavy. Your wrists are fighting against this awkward lever all the time. A 20-minute gaming session becomes a forearm workout. It's less mobile gaming on the go, and more training for a future in competitive wrist wrestling. And then there's the vibration. The product description proudly mentions dual motors. What it doesn't mention is that they sound like a swarm of angry bees trapped in a tin can and feel equally chaotic. There's no nuance, just a loud, jarring buzz. I turned it off permanently after 5 minutes. It's not immersive. It's intrusive. Therefore, the hardware is a mixed bag of disappointment. But let's talk about connectivity, which is the true roller coaster. Sometimes it pairs instantly. Other times, it's a stubborn mule that refuses to be seen by your device. I experienced noticeable input lag in certain scenarios, especially on PC when not using the included USB dongle in the right mode. For a gamepad, consistent connection is the bare minimum, and the PG-9156 can't even guarantee that. Now, let's dive into the top reviews from Amazon, because they paint the perfect picture of this product's split personality. With a 3.6-star rating, the consensus is clear. Great idea, poor execution. One 5-star review raves about the value and features for the price. Another 1-star review calls it unusable garbage due to the dead zone on the sticks. This extreme divide is the hallmark of a product that works perfectly for some casual games and fails catastrophically for anything requiring precision. It's the gaming equivalent of a car that has a great radio but the steering wheel falls off. Rehook. You might think I'm being too harsh on a budget controller, but that's the biggest trap. The problem isn't that it's cheap. It's that its flaws make it a bad value. You will waste money, which brings us to the battery life. It's advertised as having a long life, and to be fair, it's decent. But here's the kicker. It uses a weird, outdated micro USB port for charging. In 2023, this feels like finding a cassette player in a new car. It's just another minor annoyance in a pile of them. Let's talk about the software and compatibility. It works in a basic sense, but don't expect seamless integration. Mapping buttons for PC games can be a chore. Some games on iOS just don't recognize it properly. You'll spend more time troubleshooting than playing. This controller is like a friend who promises to help you move, but then stands around asking where the coffee is. Therefore, after all this testing, what's the final verdict? The resolution is simple. The iPega PG-9156 is a classic case of spec sheet hero. It looks fantastic on paper. Telescopic design, check. Multi-platform, check. Vibration, check. But in your hands, during actual gameplay, it stumbles on the fundamentals. The imprecise sticks, mushy buttons, and awkward ergonomics undermine every one of its clever features. So, who is this for? It might be acceptable for someone who only plays very casual, turn-based games or slower RPGs, where split-second timing doesn't matter. It's a toy, not a tool. For anyone else, for anyone who wants to enjoy a mobile shooter, a platformer, a fighting game, or a competent PC experience, this controller will actively make your gaming worse. Rehook. I promised you an honest review, and here's the most honest conclusion I can give. The curiosity loop is closed. The iPega PG-9156 teaches a valuable lesson. A long list of features means nothing if the core function is broken. You can dress up a bad controller with phone clamps and flashing lights, but it's still a bad controller. Therefore, my final recommendation is clear. Do not buy the iPega PG-9156 Gamepad. Save up a little more. Invest in a controller from a brand known for quality sticks and buttons, even if it has fewer bells and whistles. Your gameplay experience will be infinitely better. You deserve a controller that disappears in your hands and lets you enjoy the game, not one that constantly reminds you of its shortcomings. If you want to check the current price or read those mixed reviews for yourself, I've left the link in the description below. Click it to see the best price on Amazon today. Thanks for watching.